Welcome to Subramani. 2021 may just it be a normal year, right? People's expectation in 2019 when COVID just surfaced, and 2020 has been beaten down so low that I don't think anybody wants a great 2021. But give me a normal 2021. That's what we are all praying for, right? So let us come to a very common problem called asset allocation. People do not know how much money to hold in which asset class. And I invariably walk into a class and say, for a 70-year-old person or an 80-year-old person, how much should one have in equity? And the normal class is, you should have only about 20% in equity and the balance should be in debt. And then I tell them, I know two people who are around 80 years of age and who have maybe 99% in equity, right? They are Ratan Tata and Azim Premji. Now the question is not how much should you have in debt and how much should you have in equity is asset allocation, and asset allocation is pretty complicated. It is not as simple as just take the age. For example, a professor of IIT who's got an assured income till the age of 68 and after that he has a pension, maybe a lot of his money can be in equity. But for a guy who is a trader in equity or commodities or he's a salesman, obviously he should have more money in debt than in equity because his life itself is like equity. Similarly, for a doctor who's put his whole life into serving others, it is still his life is like equity. He does not have the security of a corporate job or anything like that. So he's taking a lot of risk in his profession. Things can go wrong. For a surgeon, having an accident with his hand cut off or anything like that is huge risk. So of course he should have disability insurance, but largely he should have a lot of money in debt because in case something goes wrong. But he should also have some money in equity because he needs that money to grow for that period of his life when he can't work, right? Let's call it retirement, forced or otherwise. So you have to take all this into consideration. Now, how do you do this? There is a book called The Intelligent Asset Allocator. I think it's by William Bernstein. It's a good book, and I just want to talk about one aspect of that book. It's not that I'm going to do a big lecture on asset allocation. It says your assets, the risky assets that you have should depend on how much of risk you can take, which means how much of your portfolio you don't mind losing. So if you don't mind losing, say 35% of your portfolio, remember 35% sounds very small when you have 10,000 rupees and sounds very big when you have 10 crores, right? So you decide how much you can afford to lose based on that. Suppose you can lose 35-40%. I mean, I would put 35-40% as the highest that a person can afford to lose. You can't afford to lose more than that. Then you can go upwards of 80% in equity, right? So about 80% or 85% and 15% in debt. You can go there. And please also understand that when we talk about debt, we talk about not losing money also in debt. So if you lose money in debt, then debt is also risky. Please understand credit risk fund, etc. are in the riskier portion of debt. So if you're going to be in that kind of a debt, then you have to be a little more careful about what you're doing. Normally, I use debt for preservation and not for yield. All my yield expectations are from equity, not from my debt. So therefore, you can afford to lose 35%, you should be about 80% plus in equity. If you can afford to lose only 20%, then you should be 50% in equity. And if you can afford to lose only 5%, maybe you should be only 10-20% in equity and the balance should be in debt. These numbers are very important. I've always said that your numbers relationship is very important. How much you earn, how much you spend, how much you invest, all that will decide when you can retire, whether you can retire and things like that. Similarly, in equity, in asset allocation also, and I'm only using two asset classes, equity and debt, and I'm using gold also as part of debt rather than as a separate class. So if you can lose more, you will have more money kept in equity. So what decides whether you can use more? It's a function of many things. First of all, it's a function of how much you have. So when you have 2 lakh crores, like Azim Premji or a Ratan Tata, then these percentages become irrelevant, completely irrelevant, right? Similarly, for a very successful doctor who has also inherited a lot of money, obviously it doesn't really matter how much is in debt, how much is in equity, because if the debt amount in absolute terms is enough for the rest of your life, let us say you are a 60-year-old man and you have 50 crores or 75 crores. For the rest of your life, maybe you need only 5 crores, right? 4 crores, very comfortable life, etc. So anything beyond that can be in equity. So here we are talking of 95% in equity, even though he is a 60-year-old, right? But if he is a 60-year-old who has got 50-60 crores and he says, why should I take risk? There is absolutely no need for me to take risk. So I can keep everything in debt. Of course, he can keep everything in debt. It doesn't really matter, because how much to keep in debt and equity, he has already crossed that question. To him, it doesn't matter. He can do whatever he thinks right. As long as 4-5 crores is kept in absolutely safe place with the balance, he can do whatever he wants. He can buy real estate, he can buy gold, he can buy equity, whatever gives him happiness, right? Some people like to buy 10-12 houses, give it on rent, chase the tenant, chase brokers, fill it up. For them, being a landlord is a nice, happy activity. For me, it is not. So I would rather put more money in direct equities, whereas this person would put more money in real estate, right? So it's a function of how much money you have, how much money you can afford to lose, what is your age, because do you have enough time to earn it back in case something bad happens. It's a question of what excites you, what makes you happy. Depending on all that, choose your asset allocation. Most financial planners have a cookie cutter questionnaire on risk tolerance, which people don't understand what they're filling up, and they want to look good, so they say, yeah, I have high risk tolerance. Everybody has a high risk tolerance when the market is booming. Nobody ever says my broker did a bad job or things like that. Broker bought Bannari Aman spinning instead of Bannari Aman sugar, but you still made money. That is the sign of a bull market, right? So in this bull market, everybody thinks, oh, I have high tolerance for risk. Actually, you may not. Wait for the market to turn and you will know how much risk appetite you have. So based on all this, choose your asset allocation, not just based on one stupid questionnaire. The questionnaire doesn't know you, your IFA doesn't know you, your RIA doesn't know you, only you know yourself. Asset allocation has to be done by the client himself with the help of his advisor. Thank you.